So I made this tool yesterday and I wanted to show what it is and how it works. So I'm just gonna zoom out a little bit so we see all colors. And basically it's a tool for generating color palettes. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put the starting hue at 40, which is kind of like a yellow, and also just stay within that range of yellow, orange. And then I'm gonna look at this palette, right? So this palette generates like 11 colors. It's like a Tailwind palette. And then I'm gonna look at the saturation. So what you can do, and what I like to do, is that I don't like this saturated part here at the front. So what I can do is that the saturation start, I can kind of tweak it. So things are like less saturated at the start, but then at the end, they are more saturated. So the darker a color get, the more saturated it becomes. But what you can also do is kind of experiment. For example, with quad in and out, you can kind of create a curve so that the sloping is more gentle. Now, actually, if I look at this, this looks really bad, right? So I'm gonna go back to linear, and it was out, I think, for both. And this still doesn't look good, right? So there's some more tweaking to be done. Like this 500 here, that looks horrible. So I'm gonna change the saturation end. And then I think I had like good results with the quart. So if I put quart, and then I put it at in and out. Okay, so it's like, it looks like this. So I want a bit more color at the end. So I'm gonna add a bit more color at the end. And what I've had success with is if I move the midpoint, because I want the 500 to be more like grayish, right? So I move the midpoint, and what it means is that this is where the line starts like breaking and evolving, right? So here the darker tones are the most saturated, and the lighter tones are the least saturated. If I move the midpoint position, for example, this would be the 5th color. It's only from the 5th color that it will kind of stay static, and then after a while it would move up. So let's move on to the lightness curve. So what do we want here? I think we want these like 100 and 200 values to be a little bit lighter. So actually I'm gonna move that curve up, not too much, because I want the 50 color to still contain some color. And then on the dark end, this is way too light. So on the dark end, I'm going to actually make it darker. I think I should add a feature to see the palette in the context of dark background, because this way you would have an easier time to evaluate it. And then finally, you can just copy the codes from Tailwind at the bottom, or click this button, and that will also make the tool create a color scheme for you, or copy the color scheme for you. So that's how the tool works. I'm gonna reset it again. You can do some cool stuff, like for example, set the hue range to work in. I haven't really experimented too much with the sign logic. So there's definitely like ways you can get to some cool color palettes with this tool. And I'm thinking about like how to improve it further.